Hello, and this week on The Monster Painter, I'm taking a look at EnderToys, their walls, and their rocks. At the beginning of December, my niece gave me a set of 3 tabletop terrain kits for my birthday, God bless her. The 3 sets were produced by EnderToys, which markets a line of 3D filament printed terrain suitable for 28mm gaming, and they are readily available on Amazon. I was gifted the Blasted Ruins set, the Boulder Pack, and the one we're looking at right now, the imaginatively named Ruined Wall Set B, which includes 5 ruined walls that came in gray plastic and white plastic. I think the color you get is really contingent on the filament available at the time you order. And while you could probably get away with not painting the gray walls, ruins are gray, plastic is gray, you could squeak by. The white walls will definitely need a paint job to be convincing. Of course, I painted all 3 sets because that's what I like to do. I used a fairly simple process on all 3 sets, just a dark gray base coat preceded by lighter and lighter dry brushings of gray with a bit of a edge highlighting at the end and a green wash along the bases to give them the mossy look. This is how I like to paint my terrain, and so this is how I paint my terrain. It's a nice and simple but effective method. And so I went through that sacred process of carefully painting gray plastic gray to make it more compelling during game time. These Ruined Wall Set B clocks in at $30 Canadian, and it's simple but a credible set of ruins. Only one of the 5 parts contains a corner piece, which makes the other 4 walls somewhat vulnerable to the dreaded manquakes, which so frequently knock terrain over during the game. But with a little care and caution, this doesn't have to be the case. They are not the most tactically exciting pieces of terrain, that's for sure, but for $30 they get the job done breaking up lines of sight and being a convincing looking set of ancient ruins. So I really don't have a beef with them. I think they're a pretty good, pretty simple set of terrain that paints up really nicely. On to the next set, and this one is called the Blasted Ruins. Just like the Ruined Wall Set B, it's going to run you 30 Canadian dollars on Amazon. This one, however, consists of just 2 wall corners. Of course, this makes it more stable and less susceptible to those dreaded manquakes than the Ruined Wall Set B was. And overall, it is a more visually and tactically interesting set. The models have a more varied structure with a number of openings, making for generally more exciting terrain pieces. I do, however, have a nit to pick with these, and it's in how the brickwork is presented on them. It looks like the walls are constructed by columns of bricks or stones stacked straight up and down, which is kind of ridiculous, kind of unnatural, and completely uncredible. These ruins would fall to pieces really quickly, and frankly I think it was a bit of lazy design, and it kind of bugs me. That being said, they paint it up rather well. They look quite nice. They are more tactically and visually interesting than Ruined Wall Set B. So I think it's safe to say that I'm going to get over my my nitpick and welcome these 2 walls to my tabletop ruins of Old Felstad. Lastly, we have the Boulder Pack. 6 plastic rocks in 3 different sculpts. I painted up 3 of them as pretty standard boulders and the other 3 as chunks of ice, just to get a little more utility out of the set. It clocks in at $16 Canadian, And it's a reasonable price for a set of plastic rocks, although the world is full of different sources for tabletop rocks, so you gotta make your own judgment as to whether or not it's worth the money. That being said, I rather like this set of rocks and ice chunks, and I think I'm going to get plenty of use out of them on my tabletop. And here are the 3 sets, all painted up and in their natural habitat. They've come together quite nicely to fill out the scene of the haunted ruins. They're doing an admirable job, and I am totally pleased with these. Next week on The Monster Painter, I build a tower out of playset junk. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
You are watching Less the Monster Painter.